The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Hi there, I'm Gloria McCluskey, and you're watching Destination Dartmouth. My destination today is Margaret House on Wentworth Street, and I will be speaking to the Executive Director, Karen Goudie. Hi, Karen. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit down with me this morning and talk about this wonderful place known as Margaret House.
Thank you, Gloria. It's nice to see you.
And Karen, you are the executive director. I'm not going to call you coordinator because you do so much more than that. And you've been here for
Quite a few years.
a long time.
Yeah.
And how many people would you have seen pass through these doors over the years?
A great many.
A lot of people. And Karen, let's talk about what really happens here.
Well, our mission is to feed hungry people. Obviously, you can't just feed hungry people when you see they need a winter coat or shoes or they need some medical attention. So we collect coats, we advocate for people. We have a registered nurse that comes twice a week to connect them to health services that they may not be able to. And that's through MOSH, the Mobile Outreach Street Health, which is one of our best services.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And I also noticed when we were up in your storage room that you had a box with toothpaste and toothbrushes. So you're there, soap, and you're there to provide them with anything they might need.
Yes.
And Karen, all ages come here. I don't think children, but.
Yeah, it's not the most appropriate place for children,
Right.
but for adults, youth, I guess it's 16 and over that come. Not that we haven't had folks with children that we've sent food home and then connected them with places.
Sure.
Most recently, the Dartmouth North Community Food Center is a wonderful place for us to refer the families.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, we see a lot of people here that have been coming for years.
And it's so wonderful. Once when you drove down Ochterlony Street, you saw the people lined up on the sidewalk. And I always felt very sad about that. First, that they needed to come for food. Joy that there was a place for them to have food. But to stand out there on the sidewalk didn't make me very happy.
It was the worst thing. It was, if anybody asked me if I could change anything, it was the lineup on the street. It was horribly degrading for people.
Yeah.
So we were really grateful when, I believe you were on council, when you saw we were able to get the property next door.
Yeah.
And now we have a glorious garden out there and a courtyard for
And a
folks to
place
wait
for
in.
them to come and wait and
Yes.
socialize a bit. And,
Much more dignified.
Oh, much more dignified, and so it should be.
Plus there's strawberry plants and blueberry plants
Blueberries.
that they can snack on while they're
While they're
waiting, or
waiting.
take a few home, which a lot do.
And you have a great gardener.
We have a fantastic
I met her this
garden.
morning.
She's
and
queen of our garden, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that great? So
Yeah.
you have the garden for them. And then also, Karen, when you look out there, there are a lot of boxes stacked where you put any food that you get from Feed Nova Scotia that you don't use in here.
So yeah, so Feed Nova Scotia delivers to us 5 mornings a week. Often they may have, say, a bag of carrots that you really need to use up today or tomorrow. And with our meal plans, often we can incorporate those into it, often we can't. So it's really nice to have things to send home with folks after their meal.
Sure, because even if they don't cook them, raw carrots very good for you.
Well, they are.
That's how I eat my carrots.
Yes, it's just such a basic, simple, healthy thing for them. Yeah. And where a lot of our folks live in rooming houses, they may have access to a kitchen.
Common kitchen.
But they have no food security, you know. If they put something in the fridge, someone else is going to eat it on them. And so it's just nice to be able to send home, especially fresh produce with
that'd
people.
be great for them. So Karen, let's talk about when you're open and when you serve.
So we serve 12 o'clock noon, 7 days a week.
You're open even on Sunday.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because there's a need for it 7 days a week.
There is. The same with Christmas. You know, we always serve on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
We close Boxing Day, but we
Right.
always send home something with them on Christmas
Right.
for that day. So yes, we serve the noon meal 7 days a week, and then 3 evenings a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have a second meal in the afternoon at 4:30.
So is that a different meal from the first one?
It is a different meal and different volunteers. We welcome the people that were here at lunch to come back as well.
Sure.
However, we tend to get a lot of folks that are in training programs or upgrading or school or maybe working a minimum wage job. And those folks, they not only can't come to the noon meal, but they also miss out on accessing food banks, which are, as we know,
Right.
all during the
Yeah,
days.
sure.
So our suppers are really
Isn't that
important.
great that you're able to serve them?
Yeah, we're
Because
really
there are a
grateful.
lot of kids in university and
Yeah.
colleges who can't hardly afford to eat.
Yes,
The tuition is so high and
Yes.
other expenses, so it's wonderful that you can do that for them.
Yeah.
Do you get many coming here from that?
we serve almost as many at supper as we do at lunch. It used to be when I started working here, the girl would come in to do the supper shift and she'd look and see how many we had at lunch and she'd know we'd have half. But now it's almost as much. But people are encouraged more to take training programs or things through Dartmouth
Sure,
Literacy,
sure.
and you really want to encourage that.
Sure you do.
And so it just makes it a little easier for them.
Yeah, they know that while they're doing that, they can still come here
Yes.
and get food. Now, with all the number of people that come here and all the different stages of their life and that, is it a pretty friendly atmosphere?
It's amazing. It's amazing. The folks that come here are wonderful. I mean, you just think of them as your extended family after a while. 11 years ago, a couple that had been eating here for quite some time had a child, and I was given the honor to be her godmother.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And they had a beautiful baptism at their church,
isn't that
and
lovely?
that little girl will be 11 this summer
Oh,
at the end
isn't
of
that
August.
something?
So yeah, you get very attached to the folks.
Now, Karen, do you get immigrants coming here?
No, not really. None that I have.
None of the new people?
Yeah, no, not so much.
I
We
guess
do have a
that
lady
they-
that
I guess-
volunteers
Yeah.
for one of our suppers that has come from away like that, but no, not so much.
I guess they're being taken care of by the government.
I think so, and really, there are places for families.
Yes.
You know, like I said,
Yes.
the Dartmouth North
Yes,
Community Food
yes.
Center is one, where we kind of have a different clientele. You
Yeah.
know, we have a lot of folks
Yeah, most
that
of
are,
them have children.
Yes, and here, it's folks, a lot of senior men. They're looking for their meat and potatoes kind of, meal. A lot are widowed and they may not even know how to cook. You know, food insecurity is the biggest though. You know, most of them don't have access to proper food security.
Yeah. That's sad when you think about it, isn't it? What?
It's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Not pet peeves, but it drives me crazy because I look at the amount of people that living in a rooming house, for instance.
Right.
I wish that they'd all be given a little bar fridge in
Yeah.
each room.
So that they could keep something.
They're paying most of what
Yeah.
they receive each month for a place, so
Well, Karen, we're going to take a break.
sounds good.
We're going to take a break for a few minutes. My guest is Karen Goudie, and we'll be back shortly. We're back, Karen. Karen, I'm going to talk about where you get the food because it takes a lot of food to feed all the people who come here.
It really does. So the Christian Relief and Development Coalition is a coalition of churches that was formed years and years ago. Reverend Chang from First Baptist
He was
Church,
great, Reverend Chang.
amazing. And for a number of years, it was led by Jean Walker. She was the chair of it
Yes.
for a number of years. She unfortunately passed away in September. So we have currently about 19 churches that make a homemade meal.
I know St. Paul's and St.
You do your
Peter's.
shipwreck,
to them,
yes.
yes.
Like First Baptist Church does a beautiful homemade beef stew
Isn't
the
that
first
wonderful?
Friday of every
Do they
month.
do the same thing every time?
Yes.
Do they?
So First Baptist
So
Church
that's
has been
a
doing
group
this stew.
thing.
They have people that each take a turn making
Oh,
a
it's-
batch, then it all comes together
Oh.
and they bring it down. Some of the churches, like St. Clement's Church, for example, they've always provided food,
Yes.
but most recently they've started gathering in their church the last weekend of the month and preparing the weekend meal.
Oh, isn't
And
that great?
it's wonderful. Several churches do that where they get together and the fellowship is so nice. The little South End Baptist Church, they do a corn chowder once a month.
Oh, isn't that great?
And they gather in their kitchen and make it together. St. Peter's up the street, the same thing.
And they do
Immaculate Conception.
casseroles.
Beautiful casseroles. Well, St. Peter's does a beautiful barbecue chicken meal for one of the meals and sandwiches for the next. Beautiful casseroles with spaghetti, homemade spaghetti sauce from Christchurch. And especially with things like the beef stew and those kind of things, we wouldn't be here long enough to be able to make that.
No.
And so it's nice to be able to provide as many home-cooked
Do
meals.
they change it for the summer?
Some do, yeah. Some do. We try and serve a lot more salads and cold plates and things like that in the summer. Some things don't change, like Monday is Meatloaf Monday, and it's the favorite meal. It's comfort food.
Who makes the meatloaves?
So we have several churches that actually,
Oh, so they do
and
that.
groups that will actually make meatloaves, and then we freeze them. And then we have potato peelers in on Saturday morning and peel us our 50 pounds of potatoes. And the volunteers put it together here for the meal. And yeah,
Great.
it's delicious.
So that's one of the places where you get the food from the
Yeah.
churches.
And Feed Nova Scotia.
And Feed Nova Scotia.
So Feed Nova Scotia comes 5 mornings a week. 3 of those mornings, they bring us leftover food from Northwood, seniors, place over in Halifax.
Yeah, I know where it is.
And they have wonderful, wonderful things there.
Good.
The community is amazing. Like Tulip I See across the street, they always bring us their leftover croissants.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Which is a huge treat
I
for,
guess.
for people.
I don't go in there because those croissants,
No, I know, they're amazing.
when you're trying to take off weight.
Yeah,
But they're
no,
won-
they're
it's wonderful.
amazing.
Isn't that
But it's a
great?
huge treat for our folks
I'm
because
sure it
they
is.
see the
And
Tulip I
everybody
See.
needs a treat.
We really try
And they
to.
see it and they can't go in there,
Yes.
most of them.
Yes.
So it's nice that it's brought over here for
Yes,
them.
and a lot of the places down here, the Celtic Corner, for instance, they came last year when we were doing we were having all the stainless steel paneling installed. They threw us a barbecue out in the courtyard.
Oh, isn't that nice? They're great.
And this spring, they did a Margaret's Burger, where all the money raised
Celtic
came
Corner,
from,
they're great.
from here.
Corporate citizen, Jeff is.
And Humble Pie down the street.
Humble Pie.
They often send down their things.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, we get a lot. We even had a wedding cake on Monday come in. Beautiful wedding
Was
cake.
the wedding called off?
No, they only ate the bottom half, but they brought us the center and the top.
Wasn't that nice?
And it was a beautiful
Wonder,
homemade
there was a
pound
big
cake.
wedding at Brightwood. Maybe that was the one.
It could be. I'm not
I know
sure.
when I
but-
was on council and we had leftover sandwiches, I made sure they came here.
Yeah, it's really a treat for folks.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
And and then of course, do you buy any of the food?
We buy some. Mostly I have to buy things like garbage bags, cleaning products,
Yeah.
Ziploc baggies. We go through a lot of Ziploc
I'm
baggies.
sure you do.
So we may receive from Feed Nova Scotia a big box of, I don't know, say Ritz crackers. But
Yeah.
it will be one big box.
But
so
you want
we'll
to put them
baggie those
yeah,
up and send them home with
so they
folks.
can take them home.
Yeah, we focus a lot on trying to send things home, snacks
Yeah,
and
because I
things with.
mean, after your meal here, if it's noontime, You know, what do you do the rest of the day?
No, and I've had people comment through the years that, well, shouldn't people be satisfied with one meal a day? And I tell them, go out for lunch, have your favorite meal, pig out. You'll still be hungry later in the evening. And, you know.
No,
yeah.
that's inconsiderate for people to feel
There's a
that
lot
way.
of misconceptions
Yeah, of
about,
course, of
you know,
course.
you noticed the ladies upstairs sorting through the donations, commenting on how lovely the clothes were.
Yes.
You know, our folks, we try and offer them.
And you do offer a lot of clothes
We
here.
do.
I saw your closet with coats and all kinds of items. And
Well, in the winter, it's the hardest. But I mean, doing laundry is a real issue for the folks that come
laundry
here
is
too.
expensive.
It's expensive, and there's not a lot of places to go close to do.
And you have to remember that the people on social assistance, by the time they pay the rent and any, you know, and their lights, most of them, they have very little money to work with.
Exactly, exactly. Especially those living in a rooming house. You know, they're a single person. They don't get a lot. Most of their income goes to paying that room in the rooming house.
Yeah, and they charge them enough.
They do.
I know there are a couple up in the north end there that, and they don't treat them very well either, a lot of the time.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
So Karen, the clothing, you have it in boxes where people can come and kind of sort through it?
Yeah, so our volunteers will go through it, make sure it's clean and
Yeah,
everything.
they had some lovely white shorts.
They
I
were
noticed
nice,
there
weren't
this
they?
morning, yeah.
And then we have Rubbermaid bins, and we
Yeah.
set them in, and just keeps everything clean and whatnot. And our volunteers go through it regularly,
Yeah, to
at
make
least
sure
3 times
it's
a
all,
week,
yeah,
to
make sure it's all still
yeah.
good. And do people shy away from taking that, or are they?
Oh no, everything you saw up there today is probably after lunch today or after supper tonight. Will be hardly anything left.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's great. So are you in need for much clothing?
Not so much clothing.
Bedding?
We have a pretty good stock, but we do accept bedding, sheets and whatnot. We really focus on warm blankets in the wintertime.
Yes.
We don't have, as you noticed coming around, we don't have a lot of storage space.
No, you don't.
And so we like to have a few sets of sheets on hand, and that for when someone needs them.
Because this was a single-family home at one time.
Yes.
Well, we're going to a break again, Karen. Take a short break. I'll be back with my guest, Executive Director, Karen Goudie. Back, Karen. Karen, it takes a lot of money to run this place. I mean, we talked about the food. Now we're going to talk more about the costs and how you get the money for the maintenance and for the heat and for the lights and water and all that.
So we have one major fundraiser every
Yes.
year, first Sunday in December. I think I see you there every year.
Every year.
It's called Christmas Full of Caring.
Yes.
We always need corporate sponsorship for that. That is the backbone. We do sell tickets to
How
it.
do you do with that corporate sponsorship?
Well, we have a committee that approaches folks, and some folks approach us to be
great.
corporate sponsors.
That's great.
It's a wonderful event.
It is.
It's really a wonderful
It
event.
is a wonderful event.
And it's held the first Sunday in December.
And I like what it's called, Christmas
Full of Caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a nice.
So,
And it's a dinner and an auction, a silent and a live auction.
yeah, I think I gave a basket of preserves last year.
You did. I think you give us something every year.
Yeah.
I think I remember a couple of years ago, somebody did a really neat painting or sketching of you that went for, I don't even know, but you had the big chain on.
That
Do you remember
caricature,
that
you mean?
caricature?
With the black tear in my eye, which meant I killed somebody.
No, I don't.
That's what it meant.
It was amazing. I couldn't even get over it. Like, you were such a good sport about that. I don't know where that came from, but You were such a great,
Yeah, you don't
and that raised a lot of money.
You don't sweat the small things.
No, you don't.
Anyway, so you raise quite a bit of money from that.
We do.
Is
We
that
do.
your only fundraiser?
Well, it's the main one that we focus on. There's a lot of groups, though, that do fundraising for us.
Is there?
Ultra Electronics,
Oh,
for an instance, they do different things, and different places do different fundraisers for us on our
Isn't
behalf.
that great?
And show up here with boxes of food.
Great.
We had a chiropractor place this year that filled our whole pantry with boxes of food that they had collected at their.
Isn't that wonderful?
So yeah,
And I'm sure at Christmas time you get even more, do you?
we do. People are just. It's in their minds at Christmas.
Yeah, there's so
and
many caring people.
There's a lot of really cool projects.
So many caring people and projects, and so you find that you can maintain the building with your one big.
Well, we have an awesome board of directors, and
You
they
do. I was
just
gonna
keep
ask about your
everything.
board of directors.
They keep everything going, and the building maintenance. We have had new windows, new roof, new shingles, new kitchen, new pantry.
Yeah, with all the stainless steel in your kitchen, it's
Well, it
lovely.
makes it so much easier to keep clean.
Is Doug Livingston still on your board?
Doug
He has
Livingston
been there for
is.
years.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
He's a great guy. So that's your fundraising, and let's talk about your volunteers. You couldn't run this place without your volunteers, Karen.
Definitely not. Definitely not. We have incredible volunteers. And we have volunteers from every different aspect of life.
Isn't that wonderful?
We have people that have been volunteering since I came. I think you met David this morning.
David, yeah, great
David was here
volunteer.
when I came to work here. We have a lot of folks that have retired, a lot of retired school teachers, nurses, that kind of thing.
Isn't that great?
We have people that used to eat here that volunteer
back.
and volunteer for a long time. We have a really nice kind of home-like environment,
It's
which
easy.
makes it is easy, and it makes it really nice. We've had people from the Brain Injury Association, Lake City Employment, various group homes, people with disabilities, that it gives them a chance to,
Sure,
to come and
to
contribute.
and feel like they're doing something.
And
Give
it's
them a purpose.
Exactly, and it's a huge help to us.
No, sure
you
it
know,
is.
You met Dawn this morning. Well,
Yeah.
Dawn keeps us in a supply of folded napkins that I don't know what we do know when
And that
he's been
takes-
away.
And that takes time to
It
fold
does
all
take
those
time.
napkins.
It does take time. Everything does. So,
And do you cook much food here, or is most of it come in already cooked?
it depends on the day. So 19 of the days we have a church that provides either a meal or the ingredients to make the meal.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Today, one of our volunteers was making a beautiful gumbo soup to go with our
Yes,
sandwiches.
chicken gumbo.
Chicken gumbo soup. She actually took the 2 chickens home last night and cooked them to have it
Isn't that
prepared
great?
for the soup this morning.
Isn't that great?
One of our volunteers, you met Doreen, looks after our garden.
Yeah.
We
That's a
have
great job.
another woman that for years has kept that attic as organized as it is.
That attic is
That
organized.
It is the best, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Do you have a list of everything that's up there, or does she just know where everything is?
We've done lists. We're not great at keeping them up. She knows everything. Yeah, she knows everything.
And they're set out that they're fairly easy to.
Yes, and it was
Fine.
kind of our idea when we did the kitchen renovation. It used to be an old kitchen with cupboards. This was a wall, and we thought if we had shelves where everything was noticeable, you know, when you have new volunteers in there, they can see where the bowls are if someone asks them for a bowl or a plate.
And the lady who lived here years ago, Teresa O'Regan, I remember her. I wonder what she would think if she walked into this place today.
I think she'd be proud.
I think she would too.
I think
To
she'd be
s-
very
Because
proud.
she was a nice lady. To see all the people who come here using her house for a
For such good.
for a very good cause, and
Yes.
bringing all the people in who would otherwise be hungry.
Yes.
And when people are hungry, they will sometimes do things that they otherwise would not do. You know, they were forced to shoplift, or they are forced to find ways to get food.
And even, you know, if folks are hungry, they're going to buy a bag of 99-cent chips. They're not going to come and have a nice home-cooked
No,
meal. You know,
home-cooked
like,
meals, something stable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We try and make it as healthy as possible.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Keeping
do.
in mind mostly to fill them up.
I'm sure.
They want to be filled up.
Yeah.
They love mashed potatoes, for instance, and
Yes.
those kind of things.
So let's go back to the days that you're open and the meals, you know, what time?
So we serve a nice meal 7 days a week at 12 o'clock, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4:30. We serve a
Great.
second meal.
So,
And folks are welcome to them all.
so they line up early.
11:30, we open up our courtyard, and there's usually a couple out there waiting to come in when we get out there.
So I see one of your volunteers now getting all the desserts ready. So you have different tables set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So behind me, someone will be here offering a glass of juice at lunchtime, which I'd be remiss to say we need apple juice.
Yeah.
We're really running low,
So you
and
need
summer's
apple
coming.
juice. So if there's somebody out there with a big heart and can afford it, you'd like to have some apple juice.
And we like to serve apple juice just
And you can
because
always have apple juice.
it's the healthiest of the juices.
Yeah.
So then, Alan's over here getting the desserts ready, which, as a matter of fact, your sister Dorothy volunteers often,
Yeah,
and
used
she
to-
loves to do the
She used to
desserts.
help with the desserts, yeah.
Carol, I don't think you've met her yet, but Carol's out in the front room wrapping the sandwiches to go with the soup, and
So each sandwich is individually wrapped?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that great? So then it's Monday right through, 7 days a week for lunch,
Yeah.
12 o'clock for anybody who needs to come here and
Yeah.
wants to come here. And then you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5?
4:30.
4:30.
Yeah, at 4:30. And I would just say too, well, we serve the meal at lunch. Today just happens to be soup and sandwich day,
Yeah.
which is twice a month.
Yeah.
It's usually a full meal. You know, it's spaghetti or it's
So
pork
what will you
loin
serve
or-
tonight?
Tonight is, I'm not sure what they're having tonight yet.
But it won't be soup and sandwiches.
It won't be soup and sandwiches.
Well, that's wonderful, Karen, and you're doing a great job here, and so is the board. So I just want to thank you so much for what you do for all the people who need your assistance.
Well, we kind of feel like we're the lucky ones because
Well,
we get to
certainly
see
you are.
everything good
And you
in the
get
community.
to reap your rewards when you see people happy. And thank you so much, Karen, for taking the time.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you for watching. My guest has been Karen Goudie, Executive Director of Margaret House, Feeding Others of Dartmouth.